Hey everyone, Adrian Morrison here, and in this video we're going to talk about something I call judgment frames to kill or scale. Now, what I mean by judgment frames are basically time frames at which you can start passing judgment on your ads, whether you want to kill them or you want to scale them. This is a very common question that I get. People, they get an ad up and running, and be it losing money or making a little bit of money, they don't know what to do. They're kind of scared. They follow this old saying, don't fix it if it ain't broken. And they're kind of scared to touch anything once it gets up and running. They're scared to kill it because they're afraid it might make some money, or they're emotionally attached to it, or they're just like kind of crazy because it is crazy to let an ad lose money and just sit there and continue to let it do so. And for the scaling, people are scared that if they touch their ad, that it's going to break it and it's going to quit making money somehow. So I have these 3 judgment time frames that I go by for all of my ads, and these help me decide whether to kill or scale my ads. So there's 3 main judgment frames, okay? And I want to note these frames of time only apply to ads that are at least 1 week old. Okay, so you can't use this strategy on a brand new ad. You need to let every ad that you're going to let continue to run at least run for 3 days, as you've seen in my other videos. So I look at it. I let ads run for at least 7 days before I start really hitting these judgment frames. Okay, so the first frame is frame 1, and that's where I just look at today's report. So judgment frame 1 is I'm just simply assessing today's data. Now, as you know, every day is different. You're going to get different results. There's ups and there's downs, right? And the whole idea is, if today's report is crushing it, that's great. But if today is killing it, don't freak out. And if today you're getting killed, in other words, you're losing money, don't freak out and kill your ads, because you could be making a fatal mistake, which is why you need to look at judgment frame 2. And that will be a report that gives you all of your statistics for an ad over the last 7 days. 7 days of data is a lot of data. There's plenty of data for you to make an educated and calculated decision with your ad, be it kill it or scale it. Then judgment time frame number 3 is a report over the last 30 days for your ad. Because look, your ads do have ups and they have downs. Ups and downs, good weeks and bad weeks. So at the end of the month, you need to look back and you need to see, okay, overall, over the past 30 days, did this ad make me money? Is it worth letting this ad continue to run? Or did this ad crush it, and should I seriously look at scaling it further? So write these frames down. Frame 1 is today's report. Frame 2 is 7-day report. Frame 3 is a 30-day report. Now, as you move to each frame, you'll see that the decision making is more drastic. I take more drastic measures when I go to frame 2, and then more drastic measures when I go to frame 3. Okay? So these are the 3 judgment frames. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to walk you through all 3 of these judgment frames, and then we're going to do an additional video where I show you a report that allows me to show you stats from all of these time frames or these judgment frames. So first, let's talk about judgment frame number 1. All right, so judgment frame number 1, as you know, we're going to be looking at today's stats. So it's never intelligent to make impulse decisions and kill an ad or totally scale an ad just based off the data that you're seeing today. All right, because you don't know how yesterday was or how the past couple of days were. So you want to be careful when you're looking at judgment frame 1, so you're not going to be making any crazy decisions here. Now, when I am looking at today's reports, I generally check these around 3 p.m. Based off my time zone. So whatever time zone your Facebook ad account is attached to, you want to check your judgment frame one at 3 o'clock in the afternoon according to that time zone. All right, now that's because the morning for most e-com businesses is the best. I mean, the best part of the day where your ads are really going to crush it are earlier in the morning. At least that's for me. So this is what I do. At 3 p.m., I've let it run the entire morning and part of the afternoon. All right, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to start checking on things. I'm going to start looking around, seeing if I find something good or something bad. Now, if I have any negative ads for the day that today are losing me money, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower my budget to less than I have already spent today. All right? So I'm not going to kill the ad just because it's losing money today, because it could have killed it yesterday and made me a whole bunch of money, and the day before. And maybe today it's just underperforming, you know? Some days it rains, some days the sun shines. So you don't want to make any drastic decisions here that you may regret and kill a really good ad. So what you're going to do is, rather than pausing it, you're going to, in a way, temporarily cut the ad for the day, but you're not really going to pause the ad. Now you do this by lowering the budget to less than you've already spent. So an example would be, at 3 o'clock today, I go look at my ad selling a coffee mug, and I see that I've spent $25 and I've lost money. I've gotten no sales. It's pretty bad. It's just been a bad day for this ad. No money has been made. There's still half a day left, and I don't want to waste any more money on this ad because today it's doing crappy. It's not making me any money. I don't want to let it sit there and bleed. I want to put a Band-Aid over the wound for a second. So what I'll do is I'll click on the ad and I'll decrease my daily budget on that ad to about a dollar less than it's already spent for the day. So that means if I've spent $25 so far today at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to lower my budget to $24. Now when I do that, it temporarily pauses my ad. My ad basically shuts off for the day because the budget's spent, right? It'll show that you've spent 25 and now your daily budget's 24, so Facebook's going to tell it to quit spending money. Now, you haven't paused the ad. It's actually going to, at 12 a.m., it's going to start right back up, but it's going to be on that $24 a day budget. And so the next day you can go back in and you can reassess the ad and see if it's doing better the next day, and you can increase the budget. So this is like a temporary pause, just so if it's having a bad day, you stop the bleeding, and hope for a better day tomorrow. All right, so that's the decision you make in judgment frame one. You're not killing the ad, you're not deleting it, you're not pausing it forever, you're not making some crazy impulsive drastic decision. You're just temporarily pausing this ad and hoping that tomorrow is going to be a better day. Now, for positive ads, if you are have an ad that's making some good money at this time, don't freak out and be like, oh my gosh, I just won the lottery, I'm going to make $1 million if I increase this budget. Don't go crazy with it. Gently increase the budget. So if you have good ROI, let's say 50% to 100% return on investment on this ad for the day, gently increase the budget. I wouldn't say necessarily to double your budget. I would say up it a couple of dollars. And if you have $100 a day budget, maybe I'd up it to 125. The more money, the higher your budget is, the more you can up the budget, really. But on the lower daily spend ads, like something that's spending $5 a day, you don't want to go crazy and up your budget to $50 from $5. That would be making a really bad decision and a big mistake. But you might up it to like $7, and just give it a little bit more room to play because it's doing good. So as your ads get older and you have higher budgets on them, gently increasing the budget might be $10, $20 by $30, and so on. It all just depends on where that ad spend is or daily budget is for now. Also, you're going to want to look at my video on my scaling schedule. So I have 3 time periods during the day when I look at my ads with pure intent of scaling. And that's all about finding my big winners and then pushing them to their limits throughout the day. Because some days ads just are like on fire. I mean, you might have a couple of ads that are just killing it and going viral. So you want to maximize those and push those to the limit for the day. So there's going to be a whole nother video on my scaling schedule. So this video is all about passing judgment on the kill or scale. And judgment frame 1, you're going to want to gently increase your budget on positive ads for that day. All right, now let's talk about judgment frame 2. Now on judgment frame 2, I'm assessing a last 7 days report from Facebook. This means I am looking at data on my ads of the last 7 days, traffic, money made, and money spent. Now this I check at any time during the day. It doesn't matter because I'm looking at data from the last 7 days, right? So it doesn't matter what time of the day or night I do this. Now, if I have some ads that are at break even over the last 7 days, they are break even. I leave them alone. I don't do anything to them. I'm hoping that Facebook it'll do a turnaround. It'll do a 180 and it'll flip over into a profit. And that'll happen oftentimes because the older your ad gets, especially if you're using website conversion ads with the power of the Facebook pixel, the more intelligent they become. You should know that by now because I've said it in like a ton of videos, unless you haven't seen them yet. But I'll leave it alone because 7 days, it's a lot of data, but it's not a lot of data. And I know that the older an ad gets, the more intelligent it becomes. So I want to give it a shot to do its thing. So if I've broken even, I haven't lost anything, and I actually have gained a ton. I've gained a lot of data. I've gained a lot of knowledge. So you're still winning here, okay? So leave it alone. Plus, every sale that you're generating from this ad is going onto your email list. So a break-even campaign is just building your email list bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's going to still end up being profitable for you, right? So when you email those leads later on down the road, because it is generating customers and it's not costing you anything to do it really. Now, if you have minor negative ads, meaning they're not losing a lot of money, but they're still negative. In other words, you've spent $20, but you've made 10. Or you spent $20 and you made 15. There's no need to freak out. What you need to do is just decrease your daily budget by half, okay? So what I mean is, if your daily budget is $50 a day, all right? Your daily budget is $50 a day. And over the last 7 days, your ad is at a minor negative. So let's say you have spent, oh goodness, I can't do my math that well. $50 a day times 7 days is $350. So let's say that you've spent $350 and you've made $300 back. So you've lost $50. That's not that bad, but it's not good. It's not a good sign. But the ad is still generating conversions, right? It's still building you a list. It's still gonna come back and probably profit when you email those leads, because you're always building a list. But you don't want to just sit there and lose money and bleed. That would make absolutely 0 sense. So what you do with an ad like this, that over the last 7 days, it isn't making you money, it's losing you a little bit, is you take your daily budget and you slice it in half. So you take that $50 a day budget and slice it down to 25. Now, why would you do that? Well, the only reason it ever even got up to a $50 a day budget is because it was, at one point, it was obviously making money. Otherwise, you would have never increased the budget that high, right? So it was a good ad, and something just went wrong. Sometimes if you scale an ad backward, you cut the budget in half, it's kind of like replenishing, and it'll start profiting again. So you know there's hope for it. You know it has made you a little bit of money, and you just need to scale it back a little bit. You cut your daily budget in half. Even if you're at a $5 a day budget, cut your budget to $2 a day or $3 a day. And I'm telling you, if you do this, some of these, not all of them, but some of them will start making a profit again. You'll get 1 sale, 2 sales, 3 sales, and it's extra money, right? So the ad can flip back around into a positive. Sometimes the higher spend ads can, just kind of lose a little bit of their ROI. I mean, that's how it is. Anytime you scale, you're usually sacrificing a little bit of return on investment, but you're doing it for volume. So if you go backward, you slice that budget in half, it might throw your ROI back up. I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, don't worry. Just follow the formula, okay? You don't really necessarily have to know why. You just need to know when and what, all right? So if your ad is mega negative, it's losing a lot of money, my recommendation is kill the ad instantly. After 7 days, if let's say you spent $350 and you've only made $200, kill it. You spent $350 and made $0. Why the heck did you let it spend that much money and get 0 sales, right? But also, if it is a longer performing an ad that you've had for a little while, you might want to go back and look at the 30-day report and see over the course of the last 30 days if it's made you a lot of money, and maybe it just had a bad week. So you might not want to make a too drastic of a decision. But my first thing is, if it's mega negative over the last 7 days, something's went wrong, kill the ad, and then go assess the 30-day report and see if there's still any hope. If you have a positive ad, if the ad is if over the course of the week you have made decent profit off of the ad, then you can scale it and increase the budget by a lot more than previously, gently doing so. In this case, if over the last 7 days my ad's pretty profitable, let's say if I'm spending $50 a day on the ad, I'll bump it up to like $75, or maybe I'll bump it up to $100 max. I'll double it. So I wouldn't bump it up to like $1,000 a day budget or anything from 50, but you can feel confident about scaling an ad that has performed well over the last 7 days. It's showing consistency. So you can be at ease when you increase your daily budget and know that it's probably going to keep making you money, and you're just going to spend more and make more. So over the last 7 days, if you have a positive ad, then scale it a little bit harder. Okay, be a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? Just scale the dang thing. Okay, within reason. All right, now judgment frame 3. You're going to be looking at your last 30 days report. So this is going to show you all the data on your ad, the money spent, the traffic that came in, the money made, how many sales you've gotten over the last 30 days. All right, so once again, you can check this at any time during the day, not a big deal. If over the last 30 days, the ad that you're pulling the report on, the ad that you're looking at, is a break-even ad. So it's been 30 days and dang thing is breaking even. My first reaction is kill it and come back and try again. In other words, kill it make a couple of tweaks. There's a lot of different things that you can do. You can pull reports in Facebook and find out if the ad performed better to men or women, or it performed better to a certain age group. So you can go in and you can do some minor tweaks to it, resubmit the ad to a new target audience that's tweaked, and you can probably push it into a profit. It's worth investing some time into, because over the last 30 days, if you've broken even, it's been building your email list. You're getting customers, you're getting brand awareness, and you will email your email list and make money. That's just going to happen when you build a list. But you don't just want to run ads that break even and that be your strategy. That's not really all that fun. So try to push it into a profit, okay? Now, if you're at a minor negative, you're going to want to kill it and tweak the ad more as well. So same thing as a break-even ad. We're going to kill it, and you're going to tweak the ad a little bit more. All right? So same thing applies to break-even and minor negative. Minor negative is it's only lost you a couple of bucks. It hasn't lost you, an arm and a leg. If you have a mega negative ad and then over the last 30 days it's just done really, really bad, kill that sucker and say never again. It's just not a good product, or your targeting was way off. You should completely abandon that ad and put no more time or effort into it, because your time is better spent creating other ads with other ideas that give you the opportunity to go positive. Now, if an ad is still positive over the last 30 days, it's just been churning and making money over the last 30 days, it's been doing really, really well, scale it harder, because the ad has shown consistency over the last 30 days. Now, you can be a little bit more forceful with your scaling, and you can increase the budgets a little bit higher more often, because your ad has 30 days of data. It's been making money. It's doing really, really well. Now, in phase 2, remember, our frame 2, I said if the ad is negative, then refer to a 30-day report if possible. If the ad has been running for 30 days, you've had 4 solid weeks of ad spent on this ad. And it is possible that some weeks are worse than others. So if you have a bad week, you don't always want to kill your ad. Like, for instance, when the Super Bowl was on, it was a terrible week for a lot of my ads. A terrible week, because so many big media companies just were dropping millions upon millions of dollars on Facebook advertising for the Super Bowl. And what that did was it just interfered with all of the little, small businesses ads and all the guys like us, because prices went up and ad availability kind of was scarce, because you had these big companies like, Budweiser and stuff. Budweiser, I don't think did ad buys, but you had these massive companies drop millions, and they only wanted it for 7 days during the Super Bowl period. So, sometimes big events and holidays can really hurt your ads depending on what you're advertising. So that's why I said in frame 2, if you've had a bad week and the ad is an older ad, before you kill it and completely forget it, look at the 30-day report and see if throughout the month it's actually been profitable, and say, okay, well, I'm going to give it another shot, because this could have just been a bad week for me, right? And that happens, events happen and it causes a ruckus. It could be the presidential election was, this week, or a massive debate was on multiple times this week, or, something happened and it took people's attention off of buying for that week, and it made them focus on something else. And that's why judgment frame 3 is where you can, you see kill it on everything, because after 30 days you can really make a good decision, a calculated, educated decision on your ads. Because if it hadn't done well over the past 30 days, chances are it ain't going to do well. It's not going to flip and turn unless you do some sort of tweaks to it, right? And if it has been killing it over the past 30 days, you've got yourself a really good winner. Probably a very long-term ad campaign. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go in this next video. We are going to pull some of my Facebook reports, and we're going to look at the profits, ad spend today versus the last 7 days versus the last 30 days. So you can actually see how that might look and see how it's done rather than just hear it and see a PowerPoint. So I hope that you have written down and taken notes on my 3 judgment frames: today, 7 days, and 30 days. And these can really help you learn when and if to kill or scale an ad. So that's it for this video. I'll see you on the next one.